Hello everyone, welcome back to lesson 13 of using Python and Blender to create this model. Now, last lesson we finished like all the animations, right? So all the animations over here, and even the camera animation over here. So yeah. However, you can see that this model still looks quite dull because, well, it's just all gray. So I want to do something about it. However, we're not going to do any code in here. We're going to, on this file, we're going to actually do some different code. Like not a different code, but like in a different um, file or something. Why? Well, because if we put like over here, it's gonna lag a bit more than if we do it over another. So yeah. So let's print new text, and the first thing we're gonna do is import um is py. I think it's import bpy. Okay. So now we've imported the bpy in our new file thing, and you can see that this thing is still going. We're going to add some decorations like a texture to our model, and you see I opened another web browser just now. So I'm actually going to use that web browser to open this principled DFDF. If you watch some of my older models, you'll remember this. However, if you haven't watched it, then I will I will show you this again. So we're just gonna use this to uh, um, texture our model, like using things like base color, roughness, metallic, IOR, those things, and alpha. So yeah, we're using things like that. So, however, before we can start, let's create a def function, like a helper to make a simple, so to make it easier to build it. So def make map. So that's going to be its name. So name, base color. First it's going to be 111. RGB, and then the transparency at the area and metallic equals 0.0. Roughness equals, well, I spelled metallic with 3 T's. Not 3 T's, 3 L's. Roughness is 0.5. Transmission equals 0.0. IR is 1.45. So I haven't gone through some of these things. IOR, like the reflection, like how reflective your surface is, and then transmission that is also the transparency, like here alpha. So let's start by defining some things. So first, like some variables, I mean. So first thing we're gonna do is mat equals bpy dot data dot materials dot new. So I'm making a new material, and its name is just gonna be the name. Then we're gonna use nodes, which just basically helps us put our thing in BSDF equals math.node tree.nodes. Principled BSDF. BSDF. Now we've made sure and knows, so I put the principal DSDF in and stuff. But we can input stuff. So yeah, actually I'm gonna do this. And copy this. And if you count the things we have, base color, metallic, rough, string, bitch, and IOR, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We had 5 things. And we have 5. We need 5 input things. So we already have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, now let's base color. Tell Python what we want. Metallic. So basically, so far everything's like what you expect. I mean, not what you expect, like self-explanatory, these things. Transmission, weight, and then IOR. And then we're just gonna make the default value base color. Oops. And you will notice how it says default value, because well, we gotta change it. It's not like set in stone, these parameters. So yeah, they're changing, so that's why. Well, that's not actually what it means, but like that's kind of what it means in this context. I mean, like it's what's happening in this context. All right. Now let's make some space and start. So first, let's do our industrial tanks. So like the tanks here, and that's gonna be painted metal. So painted metal. So tank mat equals make mat. Yep. So we use this function to create our texture. Tank mat. So what it's its name, base color equals 0.6, 0.6, 0.6, 1.0. Metallic is 0.8. Roughness is 0.3. Alright, so we've defined everything. Now we're just gonna apply them for obj.name, underscore name in test vessel water tank. So we're just looking for names like test vessel, water tank, these two things, which are the industrial tanks. We're just telling for these for names like these, what we're gonna do this to them, and what the thing we're gonna do to them is this data objects ibj name dot data materials append tank mat. So we're using the for using this tank mat thing, this thing we defined with the function to apply this texture to the digital tanks. Now for the metal pipes and bodies. And actually, I think we can copy this because, well, the format is kind of the same. We just change this tank mat to pipe mat because, well, we're doing the pipe, the pumps, bodies, pipes, pipe bodies, and then it's going to be pipe mat. Actually, let's just capitalize that because I want to. And just change the base color, so now that's your, oh yeah, the base color for this is like kind of a grayish one, and it's pretty metallic with 0.8, and it's not very rough, so it's, yeah, it's a metal color. So for this one it's 0.2, yeah, so it's a gold, kind of gold color, and then the transparency, it's not transparent, so yeah. So the so it's actually kind of a gold color. That's why we have red and green, which makes yellow, and then a bit of blue to make that gold color. Then metallic is actually going to be look more metallic than the tank, so it looks good. And then it's also going to be more metallic with the roughness, because less roughness equals more metallic. Alright, so for here, we're going to be for obj, we'll delete and say bpy.data.objects, and we're just going to do if obj.name that starts with pipe, pipe underscore, because if you look over here, pipe H2, H3, pipe tank, pipe B, the off pipe, and then or obj.name equals pressure pump, or obj.name that starts with tank branch. So we could have the pressure pump here and also a tank branch, because this thing is actually called tank branch H1, and then we have tank branch V1 over here. They don't have pipe, but they're still like kind of pipes. So yeah, AOBJ that data dot materials dot append pipe mat. So yeah, we're using that. Okay, now let's copy this, because the rest are actually going to be more similar to this than there is to this. Like in terms of format, obviously a lot of the things are going to change, like the texture. Alright, so now let's see the valves. Body is going to be metal, but the handle is going to be painted plastic, so we're going to actually go for 2 looks here. That's why we also going to need to copy this. And over here, we're going to copy this. Oops. So that it's gonna have 2 of these. So that's like the format for our thing. So now we can just make some modifications. So first one is actually going to be valve body mat. Let's just make mat, and then its name is going to be valve body mat. Base color is going to be 0.3, 0.3, 0.3, 0.1, not 1.0. Metallic is going to be the 1.0, same as the metal pipe, except it's actually going to be like slightly less metallic because it's going to have 0.05 more roughness, making it kind of less metallic. And then this one is valve handle nut. So make a nut. Valve handle. Then this one, this is just kind of a darker color. It's you'll see when you'll see the color when we run. So 0.6, 0.6, 1.0 metallic is not going to be metallic. So we actually put the 0 and 1 over here and make this metallicness 0.1. Then the roughness is going to be way rougher with 0.5. Okay. Now for OBJ this, let's first turn this into valve body and this into valve handle nut. And now that we're done with this, so this is the same as thinking about this color. So now that we're done with this, we can change the conditions for the names, or we need to put that in. So actually ends with, and it needs to be ends with body. So things like here, valve 7 body, valve 6 body, and then we just delete this whole thing and put an and valve in the name. Then we give it the body, and then let's copy this and put it in here. Make it so if it ends in handle and valve and OBJ name, and we just use a handle nut. Okay. Now for the one of the last things, the gauges, or the gouges, however you pronounce it. Oops, I didn't copy that well. And it's most similar to the valves, although it's not that similar. So, gauges, the casing is metal, the glass is transparent, and the needle is painted metal. So the glass is this semicircle, or this circle over here, but you see it as a semicircle. The needle as well. The small needle over here. That's very hard to click. And this is the casing. The circle the cylinder at the bottom. So now next need 3 for the casing, glass, and needle, as you can see from the comment, which also means we're going to need another if statement for this last part. Okay, now let's start changing. We're going to change this into casing. Oops. We're going to change this into casing mat. This into glass mat. Glass mat. And this into needle mat. Alright, here I'll give it names: gauge, casing, glass, and needle. Oops. Alright, now base color is for this, for the casing, which is just pure metal. So I think this is like the most metallic, 0.5, 0.5, 0.55. So slightly more blue than the rest. And then roughness is 0.2. Not very rough, because then it wouldn't be that metallic if it was rough. Alright, so base color for this, 0.9, 0.1, 0.1. So you can see this, the glass is going to be very red. Metallic is going to be the same, and the roughness is actually going to be at max as well. And then for the needle, that's going to be 0.1, 0.1, 0.1. And then 0.1 over here. The metallic is 0.2. And then roughness is 0.3. So not very metallic, not very rough for the needle. No, painted metal, well, it's like not very metallic for painted metal. But it won't look like painted metal, I promise you. So, now for here, let's just change this to casing. Glass. And needle. And then let's just delete this, this, and we replace this with casing, glass. Oh yeah, for here we need an underscore because I like it feels more at the end. So needle, because for the names on the right side here, that's where it ends. Now for the final lines, we need the water mat. So actually, we don't need a copy anything. So I have water. Water. It's the fifth one. If you count it, 1, 2, 3. Well, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, it's 4. I counted wrong. Never mind. Water mat. I just delete that. Water. I need to comment. Water mat equals make mat water. base color equals 0.1, 0.3, 0.8. So you can see it's going to be more on the blue side, but it's still small hints of green, not metallic, not rough. And transmission, it's going to be 0. Then Iowa R is 1.33. So it's going to be like kind of transparent, not there, but transparent. Yeah, like that. The data, the objects, fluid domain, that data, that materials, that append, water mat, then water mat, that blend, method equals blend. And you may be wondering what this last part is. Well, if you go back here, it's just alpha, this alpha thing. Controls the transparency of the surface, and then blend is just like in the middle. Yeah, so blend is just like in the middle of this. Now we can run it. And you will see that nothing happened. And this is because we're in this animation tab, and we should, to see everything, we should be in the shading tab. And when I click the shading tab, everything will freeze. So I will get back to you later. Okay, it looks like it's not freezing and it's better. So, you can see everything we did, the gold thing, the pipes, the metallic vessel and tank, and the plastic looking handles and base, and the gauges. We have glass, then thread needle, then the base. So, now that we did that, we still have one more thing to do. And I can show you that thing right now. So, and that thing is here. So, we'll want to like render it, right? Render image animation. I'm gonna do image, but when you actually want to render it, you want to do animation because, well, yeah. Wait, first you turn the fluid domain back to solid because, yeah, you can see the fluid domain color, that's the watercolor. But when you render the image, and take some time, you'll you can see that, look, it's very, very dark, which is, and that's because there's no lighting. There's no lighting when you, so when you render it, it's gonna turn dark. And I don't want it to be dim. We want it to be like lit up. So how do we do that? Well, we're gonna do a thing. I'm gonna show you something. We're gonna do an HDRI, which is like this thing over here. It's using an image to light up this model. So what I'm gonna do, go to the site Polyhaven. If you search up HDRI, it's like the first thing that comes up. Basically, you can come here and find images that you can use and put them in here and use that image to light up all the other, to light up the render. So, I'm gonna go to this indoor tab because our tank is indoor. I want something like that. So, I want something that feels like it's inside like a tank, industrial tank factory, a factory with tanks and stuff. Um, so let's take a look. I think one of these would be best. Uh, Low contrast. Okay. Well, let's just try Auto Garage. You can keep looking for ones that you think are very good for it, but this is just what I have. So just press download, and you just download it. Go back to Blender, animation. And then you press this thing, world properties. Because you want to import that file here, right? So make sure the surface thing is set to background color here, and then environment texture. Alright, and then I think it's environment texture. Oh, yeah, open. And then you just I want to go to downloads. Okay, here it is, parking garage. It's EXR, and then you put it in. Right. Then we go back to shading. Let's go see what strength. Okay, I think it'll just. Oh, you need to render it. Oh yeah, I forgot. So render. Now let's render image. Wait for the result, and no, this isn't a good picture. It's just yeah, let's just drag this back here, so you can actually see that the big box that you don't like, it disappears. Because you want it to disappear because it's not good. Okay, so parking garage, it turns out, wasn't a good thing, but if you want your model to look better, you can just search for other ones. But yeah, I can see it's lit up. There's no domain over here blocking our view, and yeah, it's pretty good. So that's it for today. See you next time. Bye.